Hello, here we are. So this should be the second one that I've loaded today, and this is the final of the men's Tour de France, and then we will shift to just painting the women. It's always fun when it's a two-race day. It's not uncommon in the classics for the men and women to race on the same day, because let's face it, most people don't do what I do. Come to understand that, I'm a wackadoodle. And so, who's going to paint two bike races in one day? I mean, who's going to paint one bike race in one day? Not a lot of us out there. There's a couple, and I suggest you, search painting bicycle racing. Because Maxine Dodd, I think her name is one who I really enjoy, and she's doing more about the artistry. I mean, a lot of her images are almost pure abstraction, and they're beautiful. I really love them. So good job, Maxine. But radically different than what I'm doing, because I'm really trying to tell a story. There's another guy, Fett. His are more cartoons, but they're also really nice, and he captures a lot of the underlying story in images. Gareth out of England, I know him, and I'm sure there are others, but those that I've just named two people out of the entire population of the world. Besides myself. Yeah, not a lot of people do this. And it's, it's a niche. I get that. So, of course, right now I'm doing the cyclist, but the whole point of this is the final stage until next year has been raced on the Champs-Élysées for many years, well over 20. It's sort of become iconic to the tour. At it recently was riding through the plaza of the Louvre, which I always like to paint, but this year the imagery just, I've had a little trouble this year with the online producers. They keep cutting away from the image right before the image becomes what I want to paint. It's rather annoying. Come on, guys, this is all about me, right? And it used to be the tour would ride up to the Champs-Élysées and then make a very sharp turn around the corner, because this is a very, very busy boulevard, and up there are 7 or 8 streets that come across, and blocking all of that traffic is a logistical nightmare, to be sure. But now they've decided to accept that nightmare, and the tour actually goes up and around. And one of the things that created is a whole lot faster, because a big sweeping turn, the peloton can negotiate a lot quicker than that tight U-turn they used to have to do. It's interesting, these are the very last cars in the caravan, and they've got to go up and around the L'Arc de Triomphe, and the peloton, the very front end of it all, is all the way back down the other side. So that gives you an idea just how long the following caravan is. I'm sure somewhere in there is the broom wagon. I didn't get a broom wagon painting this year. There was so much happening at the front of the race, so many days. That we didn't really see the back of the race that much. Can't paint everything. Yeah, so get to the end of the race and you go, oops, I didn't paint that. Oops, I didn't paint that. They didn't really even, like, talking about my frustration with the TV coverage, they didn't really even have a good image of, I mean, I got the champagne image, but not the peloton being led onto the Champs-Élysées by the leader and his team, which is another tradition. This stage is full of traditions, of course. But now, usually they get a whole trip around the Champs-Élysées. And they do one whole lap. But that wasn't not what happened this year, and that could be more to do with the protagonist that attacked right away than it does with anything else. The other thing missing this year is the giant French flag. Somewhat tempted to put it in there. You're just messing with me this time. So that red had gotten a little too watery. To go back and pick up a little more paint. So sorry I'm not as chatty as I should be. Had to be up late last night, and you will probably have noticed if you watched both videos, I've already painted the women's race this morning. Started rather early. Maybe that's another reason I'm a little frustrated with this right now. Patience is just a little bit thin. Which I shouldn't let happen, but you know, I am only human after all. So just trying to decide where I go next. So now, as always, per usual, You know, what the kids say these days. Switch to the cool colors now. Like the three gendarmes riding in uniform. The back of the tour. Now, usually I do the trees later in the painting process. As you well know if you've watched any of these. And so I do recommend that if you want to have a synopsis of the tour, you can just go back and watch the videos from each stage and you'll get a sense of what went down. NBC just did sort of a montage of the, you know, who took what jersey at what point and that kind of thing. And then they did a scenery montage. So if you wanted a painting the tour montage, you can just go through the videos, go back and start with roughly July 1st and work your way forward and you'll get the whole Tour de France. Me yakking about the tour and painting. And when this is next week sometime, I'll also put up a video of all the paintings in a slideshow. It's going to take a little time to generate because I didn't keep track of the names of the paintings as I did them. And that's the sequence that they're in. I just made a boo-boo. My trees got too tall. I need whoever has the daunting task of pruning these trees to come here and prune these two that are closest to the Eiffel. Oh, that one's going to be a problem. All right, well, here's a problem for you. That is going to have to be white. So what I'm doing is putting down water and trying to pick it up. And I don't think that's going to happen. I think it's... So, there you go. There's a mistake. See, because I wasn't paying attention because I was talking to y'all and was laying in the brighter green of the tree foliage, but the flags aren't finished yet. Knew I should have done the blue first, but that probably would have still made the same mistake. So that's supposed to be the white of the French flag right there. And I could cheat, go get some white acrylic paint. Or, as I always talk about, what you have to do with watercolors is accept your mistakes. I may have to accept mine. Both of them, that one and that one. That one I might be able, the one up here where the trees weren't pruned enough. Maybe will be hidden by paint. At least it's ambiguous. All right. before I get any lost anymore. So I'm just taking some, I do actually have to look at what I'm painting from. So just taking a quick look behind there. Now I got to back up because I saw some yellow that I forgot to put in. So these are the guys that are going to try to steal the show from the sprinters. Every year somebody tries. The year that Jans Voigt retired, he was asked before the start of the stage if he would be given a lap of honor on the Champs-Élysées, and he kind of laughed and said, no, 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 no. Honors are not given, they are claimed. People are like, well, that's an interesting statement. I wonder what he means. And then on this first lap, after the ceremonial lap that didn't happen this year for the team that's going to win the tour to go around and show their jerseys. The next time around, he attacked and went on a solo raid for the stage, which was always his thing. He was always the guy in the breakaway. He was the one that I oft quote about the breakaway. There's very, very little chance the breakaway will win, but there's even less chance that he could win a stage from a mass sprint. So it was worth it to him every time, and it rarely worked, but every once in a while it did. We've seen that happen. 2 stages, 18th and 19th stage, the breakaway actually stayed away to the finish. So I find it interesting. The only time they ever use these, that I've ever seen these yellow and black barricades, is on this stage. So now it's really just time and to put in the cobbles, but you would only be able to see any sort of indication of cobbles down here in the extreme foreground. Also see I missed a little bit of Chris Nealon's rather, his arm. So I will remind you that all, and I do mean all, of my Tour de France paintings can be seen at my website and my blog. The blog is theartofcycling.blogspot.com. There you can read about everything. And then and you can read about them at the website as well, gregleach.com. And that is where you can purchase the pieces. And of course, I didn't title it or sign it yet. nice. And when you're tired, you make mistakes. So this gives me time to again thank you for watching. Encourage you to subscribe. The racing isn't over. We had the Tour de France Fountain. Of course, the racing goes on. There's another Grand Tour. And before the Grand Tour, the World Championships. Those are coming so close on the heel of this tour that I doubt I'm going to paint them. I'll watch them, but I may not paint them. So, there you are. Thank you all for taking the time to watch. I hope you enjoyed it. And I hope you've enjoyed all of these paintings, these videos of the tour. If you haven't subscribed, I hope you will. You can go back and watch them all, like I said, and sort of get a synopsis of the tour. And I really do appreciate you all being here. Thank you. Bye now.